Acha.
Welcome back to Acha Podcast. We're your hosts, Hida
And Fizza.
and our socials are Supportive South Asian Sis.
And Fizza sings.
We wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone who watched our first episode and gave us really, really good feedback. We really appreciate it. We are taking everything we can and we're going to slowly make improvements.
According to budget.
Yes, the budget is not budgeting.
So today we wanted to talk about Ramadan. Like, we know that it's almost over.
How?
I don't know.
It just started.
Is Eid on Thursday or Friday?
Listen, I just want to say that we have the science to tell us exactly when the moon is in what phase.
Every time I have to ask for time off, people relate to this so hard. Anytime you have to ask for time off, you're like,
well, it could be
time off. It could be Thursday or it could be Friday.
Depending on
I'll let you know the night before if I'm going to be calling in.
Yeah, that's not how that works. But, you know, I know there's lots of people who think the traditional method is the way that it should be, where you have to cite it yourself. But I don't know. I feel like if the Prophet, peace be upon him, was alive today, he would utilize the tools that were given to him, like science. We were reflecting on what it was like growing up in Canada and celebrating Ramadan with our family and our community, and how different it must be for folks that live back home. And some of the fun stuff that we did as kids, like, I don't know if this is a Pakistani thing or like other cultures do it, but Jiri Roza, right? Remember when we were really little?
Yeah.
And we would practice fasting?
Jiri Roza basically is like, you will wake up at Sehri time to like eat with the family, and then you don't eat for most of the day, but you can have a meal and like some water in the day at some point, right? And that's just to like get you to start practicing, because you don't actually have to like start fasting until you hit puberty.
Yeah, that's true.
But I remember like as kids, when we started doing Cheetos, I was like, I felt so included.
The
family.
Yeah. Because everyone else is fasting that's older than you, and like all the aunties are doing it, all the uncles are doing it, and everyone in the community is asking, well, how many fasts have you done? And you kind of feel left out as a kid. I don't know.
Absolutely.
So it's a nice way to like involve kids. I cannot wait for baby to get old enough to do Cheetos up, because it's going to be so cute. It was special for us growing up too.
It was.
We used to celebrate Eid at a specific masjid in Ontario, and do you remember they used to have like bouncy castle, and like the firefighters would come out with like their mascot, and like you could honk the horn in the fire truck.
They had like people doing like caricatures,
face painting.
People were selling things, kind of like Ramadan Fest.
Yeah, kind of, which we went to,
which was a lot of fun.
That was great. Kudos to the organizers.
It was so nice, honestly. Like, I don't think I've been around that many like Muslims and like that much diversity in a really long time, like in a space like that. I
think the last time we were around that many Muslim folks is when we used to go to the Reviving the Islamic Spirit conference in Ontario.
Does that still happen?
Oh yeah, it still does. It's gotten so much bigger.
At Ramadan Fest, they had a bunch of like different vendors come out and like sell their merch. There was this really good cookie place called Afghan Bites.
Afghan Bites. Oh man.
We'll tag them in the video.
Their Biscoff cookie. I don't like Biscoff flavored dessert. You know how Biscoff made that? Every Ramadan there's something. But
Biscoff cheesecake.
Everything Biscoff. I got over it so fast. But that cookie,
so good. But there was like a bunch of like vendors doing like, you know, jewelry, like food, toys, kids' storybooks.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I was so excited when I saw that, because like we didn't really have kids' storybooks growing up.
No, not for like things about Islam or even cultural stuff. So it was really nice to be able to see that for my baby.
I really enjoy when we get together for like potlucks.
Yes.
At the mosque.
Like iftar.
Iftar, yeah. Because all of the aunties are bringing something like that's special for them during Ramadan, right? And it's nice to be able to taste other people's like
cultural
foods.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Love that. I do one thing I want to point out is that women carry a lot, not just in our culture and religion globally. Women do a lot of the grunt work when it comes to holidays, passing on culture, teaching children, all of that kind of stuff.
Severely underappreciated.
Very. So they deserve all the flowers. You know, our moms, our aunties, our grandmas, you know, our older sisters, younger sisters, nieces, whatever.
They're getting up before, like what, half hour to 45 minutes before everybody else is waking up to prepare the food, right?
And then staying up to clean up after. which shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to do their part. One thing I think that she looked forward to a little bit, or at least I did, was my period during Ramadan. I feel like that's a terrible thing to say.
It's not, dude.
So some people are like, I wish I could fast during my period. But do you remember the one time where he tried to get out of fasting?
No.
So basically, you don't talk about your period in the house. It's taboo. A lot of cultures, it's taboo. So when we were growing up, during Ramadan, we'd tell our mom, my stomach is hurting. I can't fast today. And so she understood and be like, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So one day our brother's like listening to this and seeing this and going like, what the heck? Like her stomach is hurting like every single day this week. Yeah. So one time she came in to wake me up and she was like, "Uto beta, sehri ka waqt aa gaya, like get up, it's time for sehri." And I was like, "Oh mom, like my stomach hurts." And she's like, "Oh, okay, no problem." Walks out, goes to my brother's room, and she's like, "Uto beta, sehri ka waqt aa gaya." And he's like, "Oh mom, my stomach hurts." She's like, "Okay." She turns around. Mind you, she's exhausted and like probably delirious.
Yeah.
She pauses. She's like, "Wait a minute." And she turns back and she's like, "Yeah, look." And he didn't understand why until he was much older.
Speaking of periods, though, I think the one thing that I actually despised was when you were on your period, you had to hide the fact that you were on your period. So you couldn't
had to, like,
freely
pretend.
like eat. Yeah, like in front of people, you had to like pretend like you're fasting because God forbid your body's going through a natural cycle.
I agree. I think that's ridiculous. I think that anyone, men or women or anyone else, needs to know when that's happening because it's someone you love and they're going through this time. You can support them. And also, like, it shouldn't be taboo. It's a bodily function. I do not understand, and I will never understand. No. It's like, oh, sharam wali baat hai. No, it's not though. Sharam means like it's a shameful.
If it was a shameful thing, would it exist?
Yeah. Plus, none of us would be here if periods and the whole cycle then science.
Yeah. No, I do appreciate being on my period in the sense that like I could like taste test the food that mom was making.
Yeah, being the guinea pig.
But you know what though? So like on your period, depending on like, who you are and how you get your period, like your cramps were like horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Mine were pretty bad. Hers were really bad.
I used to because I had PCOS and I was undiagnosed for so long, I used to like either throw up or pass out.
And the thing is, and I'm kind of like circling back to like women being underappreciated, we were still expected to, because we're not fasting,
do the grunt work.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I've had friends who have gone through the same thing.
So frustrating. So frustrating. But we are not raising the next generation like that.
Nope.
Right? I am very adamant in our family now that everybody splits the work evenly. And I know it slightly drives mom nuts. But I am like, nope. Every single person is going to get put to work. Everyone has a chore. Everyone has a task.
That's how it should be because then you can get stuff done faster as well.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. No. We're not going to be continuing. We're not doing that. We're not doing it.
So we were talking about mom waking us up for Seti, which bless her heart. But I remember like depending on how many commitments you had, if you're going to school, if you're going to work, both, neither, or other things, you're exhausted already. Yeah. You're kind of like essentially living your days in reverse.
Kind of.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we would like eat overnight typically, right? After iftar. But yeah, she'd come in and wake us up and you'd wake up and be like, what universe?
What planet
am I in right now? Discombobulated. Like, you don't even know what you're eating. Like, you go downstairs, you're eating. Is that water? Is that juice? Couldn't tell you.
You're like missing your mouth. Your eyes are so close.
Oh my God. I feel like it was the worst one. Like, you had school or something like early.
Yeah, and then you go to sleep and they have to get up like what hour later or something. Oh, that second time getting up? Nope.
Practicing patience during Ramadan is difficult.
Yes.
Yes. Coming from people who are very impatient. Me as well.
Wait, hold on. When we talk about like living your life in reverse, you know who really enjoys that?
Who?
The cats.
The bunnies and the cats.
The Ramadan animals.
Yes.
Yes. They love it because they're like, oh my God, everyone's awake all of a sudden. What is happening? I love the TikTok videos of the animals like confused or like at the table with the family being like, what? Why are you guys awake?
I recently made a friend in town and she has a free roam bunny.
Yeah.
and she was talking about, because bunnies are nocturnal animals, and she was talking about how excited her bunny gets when they get up for sehri, and it's just like binking and hopping around. So
sweet
I thought that
bunnies.
was so cute.
One thing was like Judea Rosa and like learning how to fast, and then like I also really enjoyed the chaos of prepping for Ramadan before it started.
Oh my god.
Our mom is, I mean, everyone says our mom is the best cook. We have very many witnesses and testimonies that our mother is a great cook.
They're so lucky.
We are so lucky. So she would have us prep samosas, spring rolls, patties, I don't know what else.
So many things.
Kebabs.
Yeah.
We would basically child labor, like sit around the table and like everyone had a station on what to do.
Yeah.
Because it made her job a lot easier, like during Ramadan. And then you had mentioned we would eat all night. Who does not binge eat during
Listen,
Ramadan?
man, it's honestly, I feel like that's a part of the fun. Like I remember like after iftar, so like you have iftar, obviously, and then you go for tarawih, and then on the way back you like stop to get like a treat, like a soft serve ice cream.
Well, it used to be McDonald's until we boycotted, but now everyone goes to Kava House or like
Yemeni coffee house.
Yemeni coffee.
Oh man,
I know,
that's dangerous.
I know. Oh man, but that's like part of the tradition, I guess.
Yeah.
I do think that binge eating is not a part of Ramadan. You're not supposed to do that. Ramadan is not about food. All we've done so far is talk about food.
We're very food motivated. I cannot stand is aunties grabbing you like physically, like pulling you or pushing you for namaz, because you're meant to like
be shoulder to shoulder
during namaz. They're trying to get you to fit into a space that's like this small.
It's not even about being shoulder to shoulder. They're just trying to sardine pack everybody into one line before they start the next line.
Religion is not
that complicated.
Literally.
First of all.
And why are you touching me, auntie? I don't even know this auntie.
Why are they grabby?
Why are they grabby? You can also just tell somebody, okay, come fill the spots or whatever.
Then there's the overly enthusiastic individuals who like to get up from sujood faster than everybody else. Do you know how many times that auntie has just sat on my head? I bent glasses. I used to wear glasses. I bent a frame because some auntie hit me so hard with her butt.
Bro.
My face was I couldn't breathe.
That's a common experience. That, and then like, just like the way that we're sitting, right? At the end of namaz when we're sitting down, feeling like auntie's feet, like under me, under my buttocks.
Okay, that, and then also if we're so sardine packed in women's spaces, which are already way too small, that's a whole other topic. With all the children running around, another topic.
Oh my god! And then when the kids are crying, and then the people from downstairs be like, "Shh," or like they send a message upstairs to tell the sisters to get the kids to be quiet.
Tell the men to shut.
Anyways,
it's Ramadan. If you don't want kids at the mosque, don't come to the mosque. Because if the next generation there's no one at the mosque, it's because you told the kids to stop coming to the mosque. Anyways, being sardine packed post iftar, everyone's got burpy, oniony breath. It's not. Please brush your teeth after. Please.
Aunties who like are in sujood and they sound constipated because their stomach is so full, it's like touching the top of their thighs, and then they're like in sujood and they're like.
I do want to make a note that like there's so much to enjoy, but there's also things in Ramadan that were really frustrating. Food was one of them, in the sense of like when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose all this weight during Ramadan." Like we've done it. Remember how we used to do those high intensity workouts before iftar?
This is not the time, people. Like we really like need to shift that focus to the actual purpose of Ramadan, right?
But
reflection, getting closer to Allah,
hyper-fixated.
Yeah, the aunties. Oh my god, the aunties like, इस साल हम fried food नहीं बनाएंगे, हम salad खाएंगे chicken के साथ, पतली सी रोटी दाल के साथ. And I'm like it's kind of like, imagine if you were having Christmas celebrations and you were eating salad and chicken
and none of the good stuff
for dinner.
I mean, like it's like two ends, like two extremes, right? You like binge eat, or you're like starving yourself because you're trying to lose weight or like maintain. But for those people who may have disordered eating or like eating disorders, it's really hard on them, and Ramadan can be really hard on them, right? Because eating, like diagnosed eating disorders are actually a mental health issue, and then disordered eating leads to that. I remember like there was definitely a time in like my late teens, early 20s where I was really, really trying to lose weight because I just felt like I was so overweight. And Ramzan was always like, okay, I know I'm not going to be eating that many calories. I just got to really work out. I ended up getting sick, like because you're not nourishing your body properly. So that piece is something that's always been like really frustrating for me, and I don't want my daughter to ever feel that way, you know?
I feel like not a lot of people really acknowledge the disordered eating piece.
Yeah.
Like I think that's part of the reason why like we stopped going to like ballots and gatherings and stuff too, because tell me why the main topic of conversation is diet culture.
So toxic.
Oh my god, like we're at a dawat and this auntie has made such delicious food, so much variety, and aunties are talking about diet culture
and how they don't want to eat anything that's been put out and that this one auntie has done all this work to make.
That's ridiculous. And then the whole like
if you did that to me, I would never invite you over again.
I would never do that.
Not you, but like I'm just saying.
My sister makes really good food.
In general, it's like I invite, like food is how I show my love to people that I love, right? And if I was to invite someone over and like make them a meal and they refuse to eat it, or they ate like the most minuscule portion, I would be so offended.
Okay, you know what though? So the aunties will talk about diet culture.
Yes.
And then on the other hand, so after you have your plate, or you're like halfway through your first round, they're like, beta, or lona. I'm like, okay, so what do you want? Do you want me to diet, or do you want me to like eat until I like pass out?
Speaking of disordered eating.
Oh Lord.
So we watched the Tyra Banks documentary.
Yeah.
We have a lot.
We're curious to know if you guys watched the Tyra Banks documentary as well, or if you like ever watched America's Next Top Model.
I grew up watching America's Next Top Model and like the Tyra Banks show and like all those like after school shows. I didn't know Tyra was involved in this documentary.
Me neither.
Right when she sat down,
she sits down. I'm like, oh no, like this is either gonna be really good or really bad. Like she's either gonna deflect or she's gonna actually take ownership and like apologize.
Spoiler alert: if you don't want to know or if you haven't seen it, just stop here because we're gonna break down what we saw. We were very shocked, to say the least. First of all, what the heck? I know that growing up watching the Tyra Banks show and then watching America's Next Top Model, there were things even when I was young where I was like, that seems kind of weird. Like changing people's race.
The race swapping.
They didn't just do it once. They did it so many times. Like, what do you mean you're going to do black face and brown face and Asian face and all the faces? And her reasoning was like, oh, I want to show the world that black and brown is beautiful.
Tyra Banks was always praised for, you know, wanting to have more diversity in the modeling industry. Her version of diversity was one person of color, everybody else is white, and they're all skinny.
That's exactly it.
Like, wasn't her whole thing like we should have more realistic looking bodies?
That's what she had said when she started the show. She said she wanted to change the industry standard of like white skinny blonde, right? And she's like, I want different kinds of bodies and skin tones and hair and blah 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 blah. Tell me why there was bare people of color, and tell me why the winner of the first season was just like a white lady with like brown hair.
I don't think she should have won.
Listen, those women, all of those women should sue her. I'm sorry. The things that they went through.
It's so sad, dude.
Like, what was the worst thing for you?
Okay, trigger warning right now.
Trigger warning.
Essay. The essay.
Yeah.
Shandy was talking about, you know, how
Shandy's one of the girls that was on one of the shows.
She's one of the models. Yeah. She, you know, got onto the show at a really young age. And when she was on the show, she was in a relationship before she got onto the show, right? Yeah. And there was an episode where, did they go to Italy? They went to Italy. And I guess like the producers had like hired some men to like drive the girls around on their like motorcycles.
Kind of escort them, show them around.
Yeah. So like one dude per model. And at the end of the night, I guess they got invited over to the modeling house. and Shandy had a little bit too much to drink when they were in the hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy took advantage of that.
Yep.
And she got SA'd.
And they filmed it. I want to throw up.
They had a rule where, like, if you go into the bathroom alone, the camera can't follow you. But Shandy went into the bathroom with the guy.
So then the camera can follow you.
The camera followed and filmed
the whole
being
thing.
assaulted.
And it gets worse. Then they convince her that she cheated on her partner. Not that she was assaulted, that she cheated on her partner.
Tyra, like, came up. She's like, oh, you know, I'm a girl's girl. We're going to sit down and, like, have some dinner and just, like, chat. And then she's like,
have you ever cheated? I don't remember what she said.
Something's like, oh, we all make mistakes sometimes. Or something shady like that.
Every time Tyra had to address the girls for something, she always came across as so shady. And, like, when you're young, like, I was in my early teens, preteens, watching the show. Like, in the moment when you're watching her, you're like, okay, yeah, like, she's kind of acting like a big sister, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you're adult and you're looking at this again, you're like, that is so messed up.
That was wild.
That is so messed up.
And then when they were doing that interview,
when she called them onto the Tyra show?
Yeah. So then after the season had been filmed or whatever, she called the models onto the Tyra Banks show, and she asks Shandy, like, did you ever watch that episode? Obviously she didn't. And she said, no, I didn't. Because, like, why would you want to?
Why would you?
She's like, okay, let's take a look. And she plays that whole thing in front of the crowd. And Shandy?
Listen, Shandy's probably never going to see this, but if you see this, you better sue the bejesus out of that entire... everybody who was involved. Because she literally said that when she had called her partner to tell him what had happened, and she was crying and having this traumatized conversation, the camera and the audio people came up to her afterwards and apologized because they knew they shouldn't have recorded that.
Yeah, they were like, sorry that, you know, you had to go through that, and then just, like, walked out of the room. And then when Tyra was asked about, you know, do you remember Shandy? She was like, yeah,
kind of.
And then she basically blamed the production.
Yeah, she's like, I wasn't a part of the production.
That was on that. Like, anytime something came back at her, she'd be like, oh, that's not on me. That's on that person. That's on that person.
It was like she was playing dodgeball and she was like the world champion.
Dude, it was so bad.
She was dodging every single accusation, left, right, and center. She was being so fake and, like, smiling and, like, saying, like, oh my God.
I'm so triggered by her face.
I can't. And then when the stuff she did that one Jay, and she was like, I'm going to call him. She never called him.
What guy?
Remember Jay, like the two J's? Jay Manuel.
Yeah,
and she's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to call him, with, like, the biggest smile on her face. And I'm pretty sure she never called him.
Probably not. That's the least of my worries. You know who I really hated? That stupid white lady judge.
The one who kept calling all the girls fat. She said, the one Latina girl, she kept saying, you have a wide ass.
Yeah, she's Latina.
Okay, genetics. Also, are you jealous? But also, she was like, she could lose 150 pounds. I'm pretty sure that chick weighed like 130.
Bro, this lady, if you see her now, she has not aged.
She's ugly.
Like,
she's ugly. If you're ugly on the inside, you become ugly on the outside. That is my theory.
Yep.
If you were a bad person.
Was she on the show? Was she, like, on the...
She was a judge. Like,
no. But was she in the documentary? Like, did they interview her? I don't remember.
They didn't interview her. They just showed, like, clips of her. The stuff that she was saying.
Yeah.
So frustrating. It's like, okay, you weigh 130 pounds. I need you to lose 150 pounds. What are you, like the dad from the Proud Family who, like, turns to the side and disappears?
00 jeans.
But, like, when you are reinforced in media over and over again about how you're supposed to look and how skinny is coming back. Remember how, like, we went from let's be super, super skinny and not have anything on our bones to being, like, the BBLs, right? Like,
because of
big. And now it's like, okay, well, skinny is back because there's so many, like, creators online.
Yo, yeah, I was watching a TikTok of, like, all of these celebrities, like, people have been laughing about, oh, look, so-and-so is on Ozempic.
Everybody and their mom is on Ozempic.
I'm like, oh, and then remember when, like, the craze started and, like, people who actually had diabetes
couldn't get the drug
because all these freaking celebrities.
I was one of those people
buying the Ozempic.
So I was on Ozempic and I was on it twice. talk about that in a different episode.
Yeah.
But there was a point where they were like, yeah, it's on back order.
Yeah.
Because people were just buying it up, and I was using it for my diabetes. So that was really frustrating.
That's wild. And then, okay, remember the plus size model that was on the show? Who would be considered like normal,
an average,
like mid-size now, right?
No, not even mid-size. She was just average.
I don't know, but she definitely wasn't plus size. I guess like back then it would have been considered plus size, which is stupid. But anyways, why would they want a plus size girl on the show if when she went on to set they didn't even have clothes that fit her?
Again, it doesn't make sense because Tyra's like, I want to change the industry. I want to do all these things, but then she would still do the status quo stuff.
We grew up with this toxic narrative that like we have to fit into the clothes.
Yes.
Right? Like think about all the movies where like suck it in and like they're
white chicks
zipping up the jeans or whatever, right? Like no, clothes are meant to fit your body. We're not trying to like squeeze ourselves into something that doesn't
make
fit.
ourselves uncomfortable. You know what? I have to catch myself sometimes because sometimes with baby, when I'm, kind of like joking around or like, she's little chonkers and like trying to pull her pants up and like, it's kind of struggling. I'll be like, oh, suck it in. But then I have to catch myself and be like, no, I don't want to pass that messaging on to her. Like, I don't want her to feel that way.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like just joking, like it's not.
I've been really protective about that.
I know.
Because like
we had a hard time.
And like our parents' generation, like obviously like they're learning. Some parents don't learn, some parents do learn. I think the other thing that really stuck with me was girls who were passing out on the show because they were starving.
Yeah, because they weren't eating anything. And I'm pretty sure like one of them got hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was
one girl like put her hands around her waist. Like tell me how her waist fit into that.
That's so scary. There was one season, I think the girl's name was Kenya, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She kept getting this messaging that she was too fat and she was eating too much. And like she had said in the documentary herself that like the way they cut the show and like the film footage, she was eating a singular bagel, but the way they like showed it was like she was eating 5 or 6 of them. Do you remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
And then it came time to like the judgment, and Tyra's like, it's all about choices. Like if I'm gonna eat a burger, I'm gonna eat a burger, but I'm gonna take the bread off. All of the models were starving, and you're sitting there giving this advice like it's like some sort of revolutionary like thing that no one's ever heard of.
Just because you hate yourself, stop putting that on other people. Seriously. And like, listen, we've tried every diet in the book, and I know that there's a lot of people that can relate to that, right?
Let's see, Jillian Michaels. We did the paleo diet. We did keto. We did isogenics. We did the liquid diet. We did J. Craig.
The Chinese doctor.
We did this one diet. Okay, so we went to this like, what was it like a?
You guys went.
Me and Mom went.
And I was like, oh. At the age of like 12, I'm like, I'm fat. I want to do it too.
So it was this holistic medicine, Chinese medicine. I don't know. Anyways, what his weight loss plan was: you eat apples.
Stop.
That was it. And then when
you have to take your time eating the
you
apples.
have to chew every bite 50 times, first of all. It would just be mush before you swallow it, which you are supposed to chew your food quite a few times to make it easier on your stomach.
Obviously.
But that many times. So when you're eating an apple, it should take you, an hour to eat an apple? Then, this is the exercise plan. When you're in the shower, you take a towel and like a long towel, and you scrub the crap from your toes all the way to your head, and you really, really go fast, fast, fast. He's like, yeah, it'll feel like you just ran 25 kilometers.
Have you guys ever heard of a diet like that before?
I fell in the tub once.
Listen, this is a safe space. If you've heard of any other diet that's more wild than this one, please let us know.
Apples and scrubbing yourself in the shower. I mean, I was squeaky clean.
Exfoliated.
My skin never looked better. Juicing cleanse. Remember Mom bought that juicer?
I remember that.
And all we drank was just liquid?
Oh my god.
I was
cabbage soup.
Do you remember?
Cabbage soup? And that freaking auntie? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not naming names, but this person knows who they are.
Basically.
Listen. So we went. Well, you weren't there. I told you this story. So Mom and I got invited to like a kid's birthday thing or whatever. And I think this was post my like depressive episode where I had mentioned, I think in the last podcast or something, I had lost like a ridiculous amount of weight. Like I just looked lifeless. And I started lifting weights for the first time.
Yeah.
And obviously like put some muscle on. And I'm eating and I'm feeling myself. I'm like, oh my God, like I look so good.
Oh, yeah.
And during like the lunch, this auntie like isn't even talking to me. She looks at mom and she was like, फिजा को क्या हो गया? इतनी प्यारी होती थी.
होती
थी.
But she used to be beautiful. Used to be.
इसको ना आप vegetable soup पिला दें 3-4 महीने के लिए like salt के बगैर बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाएगी.
How old were you?
No, I was like probably early 20s.
Yeah.
I want to say.
That's
probably
wild.
early 20s. Yeah.
That's still wild.
Listen, at the end of the day, the aunties don't care if you are, it doesn't matter if you are small or if you are big or if you're anything in between, they're always going to comment.
It's the community. And you can never make people happy, truly, and that's not your job. Your job is to make yourself happy.
Luck 28. 47 waist.
47 weight.
Wait.
47 inches?
No. Wait. In inches, stupid. Kilometers? Did I say kilometers? Kilograms.
47 kilometers.
Genius.
That is the new ideal.
Yo. That's wild.
Luck 28. That's what I was sorry. My
47
brain.
weight. 47 kg. I'm like double that right now.
What's that in pounds?
I don't know.
I can't do
math. Couldn't tell you.
Anyways, wasn't this the same auntie who said she drank the soup for 3 days and the umbi hadiya nikla?
No, that was
a different. Yeah,
from what I've remembered, we've always been gentle with one another, like at least like us.
Yeah.
When one of us has like gained an unnatural amount of weight, you know, it's concerning.
Yeah.
And I remember when I moved back to BC last March, I was like 70 pounds, 60, 70 pounds heavier than this.
Yeah.
And I look back at photos and you guys never said anything to me in that time because obviously I was going through a difficult time.
You were going through a really hard time.
But I look at it now and I'm like, wow.
So me and Farhan had talked about it.
Yeah.
To quite a long extent. We were really worried. And that was one of the reasons we were worried because you were struggling so much. But the thought process was if we take you out of the environment that you're in and you're back somewhere where you feel safe, things will just settle on their own. And they did, right? Yeah. It wasn't like what we didn't want to do was approach you and be like, hey, on top of all your problems, you're fat.
Like parents do.
Like literally. That doesn't help, right? What you just said reminded me of something. So when I was attending university, we had this guest speaker come in. She's passed since then, rest in peace. It was an Olympian who got injured and then gained a lot of weight because of some medical issues. So she had been on like both sides of the extremes. When she spoke to us, she said something that really stuck with me. And I think that's what changed how I looked at myself, is that you need to love and appreciate your body at every age, stage, size, and ability.
Ah, yes.
Because your body is going to change for whatever reason, regardless, throughout your life. Like it's never going to stay static, right? It's always going to be continuously changing. Plus, you never know when you might get injured. You never know when you might have a health crisis. You never know when blah, 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 blah.
It's meant to change.
Yeah.
It's like how they say, like, healing isn't linear.
No, it's not.
But yeah, like just trying to practice that body neutrality and trying to model healthier behaviors.
And if someone comes up to you and says, hey, I've lost a lot of weight, like, how do you think, like, if they bring it into conversation,
absolutely,
right? Let them bring that in.
Yeah.
And like for yourself, if you feel confident in the way that you look, it's going to show. If you feel uncomfortable in the way that you look, whether it's your body, the way you're dressing, whatever it is, it's going to show.
Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. We hope you have a great Eid with your family.
Yes.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
And if you related to any of this content, or if you have something to share, or you have a topic you want us to cover, let us know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and
we'll see you next time. Lawyers are liars. Hey, first of all.
And why are you touching me, auntie? Luck 28.
Luck
47 waist.
47 weight.
Wait.
47 inches?
No. Wait. In inches, stupid. Kilometers?
Wasn't this the same auntie who said she drank the soup for 3 days and umbi hadia nikla?
No, that was
a different. Yeah, 27 kilometers.
Genius.
That is the new ideal.
Yo. Oh
Everyone's-
my god! And then when the kids are crying, and then the people from downstairs be like, "Shh."